Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday.
So today's guest, it's a breath of fresh air. It's a lot of energy today. I'm really glad I worked out this morning, or at least I attempted to, because we have Eliza Shirazi on the pod today. She is the creator and founder of the award-winning kickboxing and music-inspired fitness brand, Kickin by Eliza. We'll get it more into what it's all about and everything it does. But Eliza, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
Welcome,
for having me.
Eliza.
Hi, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Woohoo.
All
I
right.
should say, when she first logged onto the Zoom, she had such bubbly and energy, and she was like, "Guys, I just finished teaching, so
Let's get
is
to
why
it."
I'm still in my workout class. Let's get to it." And immediately, I was like, "Oh no, I should probably work out today."
This will be a little motivator.
No, you see, I knew like there was no way I was working out after this pod, because right after this, I'm gonna go watch the Heat game, and then it's not in the cards for me in the evening. So I went this morning.
You don't know. You might be inspired to go.
Yeah, maybe through our talk with Eliza, she'll inspire us.
Be
And we'll go
pumped up.
double workout today.
You guys can go work out. I'm gonna go watch the Heat game, but
Okay.
first we got business to take care of.
Okay.
We need to get to know Eliza and what she's and what she's doing and what she's been doing and how she's been doing it. So, Eliza, again, thank you for coming on. So, very simple question: who are you?
That's actually a really hard question. But here's what I'll tell you to start. I'm the founder of Kick It, as you mentioned. I am so passionate about wellness and fitness, specifically when it comes to women. And this past year, which we can talk a little bit more about, but this past year has been so life-changing, actually in a positive way, for me and my business, because we've been able to reach so many women across the world through our virtual platform, which we were, of course, forced into because of COVID. So yeah, I'm just a very multi-passionate person with a love for wellness and fitness and empowering women.
Excellent.
Love it. And then today you finally gave us, as much as we love our guests getting us, seltzers and wine and
Hard seltzers.
wine and
wine
tequila
and wine.
and wine. So you got us. What do we have today?
Okay, so
Our Nush of the week.
I'm drinking my, I said it was berry, but it's actually pomegranate seltzer. Oh, Spindrift. Okay, Spindrift is my drink of choice.
Really? This is my first time trying.
Oh, that's what you both have? Oh,
But I have Polar in my hands, but Spindrift is actually my drink of choice.
okay.
What's your favorite flavor?
Gosh,
This
I
one-
love all.
This
I do
one's
like
blackberry.
blackberry. I like the lemon, and I also I do like the blackberry. I like all the Spindrifts, truly. This is like
Yeah.
I had leftover in the fridge after we finished Spindrift.
Oh, I see.
Nice.
The backup plan.
The backup.
And I think the Iranian in you naturally gravitated to the pomegranate drink.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Well, cheers everyone with our
Cheers. I got my
Cheers.
what's it called? Water. My what's that word? What's the word? The sparkling water, right?
Sparkling.
Sparkling water.
It's
yeah.
sparkling
It's
water.
sparkling too, but I wanted to make it look fancy for once. So I put blueberry.
Have you heard of this AHA brand?
Oh.
This one's blueberry and pomegranate. This, I think, an Iranian made this one. It's like, yes. Interesting.
Or they just got it from the end of Coming to America. That's all.
So here's a little ASMR.
Oh wow.
You
That
love
was good.
to hear it.
Nice, little, refreshing, crispy blueberry
It's
pomegranate.
so good.
Down the hatch. No, this is a good one.
Love to hear it.
No alcohol. All right, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Salamat.
Cheers.
Okay, I feel good. I feel refreshed. But
Okay. All right.
Arta, do you want to start off?
Yeah. So, Eliza, I see that you studied public health and health sciences and communication.
So Arta, so just before you start that question, so for everybody listening, so Eliza, like you were saying, she did public health and health science communication at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. and graduated in 2013. And then we'll get into, she became a sponsor, an athlete for New Balance. You won some awards, in Boston by several different publications. And you have many people certified in your Kickin program, and you have publications throughout different magazines. Is that correct?
Oh, we lost your audio.
I think her voice cut.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
I'll speak louder. That's correct.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure we got everything down.
Is that something that you always knew that you wanted to do growing up, that you wanted to enter, this realm of fitness, or is there something instant or moment that sparked for you that you wanted to pursue this?
I knew that I really loved movement growing up because I danced for so many years, like when I was really little, all the way up until college. So movement and being in a studio, that was always so much fun for me, and it really felt like home. I am not so bright when it comes to the hard sciences and math. So I knew that being a doctor was not in my vision or path, but I knew that I loved health. So to my dad's disappointment, I was not going to be a doctor.
We're going to get to the disappointment in a second.
Yeah.
But when I got to college, I actually was really interested in broadcasting. And I really thought that being on the news would be very fun and exciting, and being a news broadcaster would be so cool. But it turned out that there is a difference between communication and communications with an S, which I didn't know my freshman year going into school at UMass. And I was in the communication program, where they teach you not about like media and broadcasting. They teach you almost like the impact that media has on humans, and interpersonal communication, and culture. And it's kind of like how the media impacts humans. That's basically what it was. Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised, but I was like, this is not broadcasting. This is like completely different from what I thought I was.
How far into it did you realize that this isn't?
It was probably in my like media class my freshman year, when it was really talking about how the media impacts, people and society, where I was like, oh, this is a different angle. But I really liked it. I still really enjoyed it. And at the same time, my freshman year, as I was realizing this, I got into group fitness, and I thought, maybe I'll add on public health. Like maybe this could be a cool track for me to add on, because media definitely affects our public health. There's so many relations. And so I got really into group fitness.
The brainwashing of the media.
Yeah, it's really crazy. There's so much to it, and it really does affect people's health. So I started getting into group fitness. I was in my major, I was thinking about public health, and UMass actually has 2 tracks for public health, social and a science track. And that for me was like a no-brainer. I was like, they have a social track when I'm already studying about something that's on social behaviors. That's a perfect match. So it was a really great organic evolution of studying public health. I wouldn't say it fell into my lap, but the option was there, and it was such a nice puzzle piece. And it was a really great way to lean into like this health side and this movement side that I've always been interested in.
That's really interesting, because you have such a specific niche. Like usually you hear people go into fitness because they love to be active and work out and yada, yada, yada. But like the reasoning behind why you did your major and got into what you're doing now is so specific. Like I've never even heard of this major that's communication or communications.
Yeah.
Do you know if it's specific to like the college you went to, or that's a thing where they have it at other universities too? Because I had never heard of that.
Yeah,
I've heard of just communications.
Same, yeah.
They definitely have like the kinds of classes I was taking at other universities. But I'm not quite sure like the actual major is super popular amongst different colleges and universities, but for sure like the classes that I was taking, could be found at other colleges.
Got it.
Seems like a good program to add on with another one, like a dual program.
That's
Yeah.
very
So the
interesting.
communication was in like like the upper like umbrella of that was social and behavioral sciences. That's what communication fell under. So again, when I saw that there was a social track for the public health department, I was like, wait,
you got to jump on that. That's it.
It's all social. It's perfect.
It's exactly what you need. I mean, I can tell by your energy the second you logged on, you're a very like energetic social person. I love it. You're right in your realm.
So now Arta has a very sensitive question for you.
Okay.
Yeah. You already touched on it. I don't want to get into like past trauma and stuff like that. But so you're now in college, you're going to communication and public health, and you mentioned about not being, so great at the sciences and math. So, and you said that your Baba was disappointed, your father. So how was that like reaction? Like when you first told him,
You didn't do the three pre-approved: doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Yeah.
You didn't do it.
I don't want to be a doctor. What was their like reaction like? Were they supportive of your decision? How did that all go about?
Well, I'm joking really when I say my dad was disappointed. It really was my grandfather, like my Baba, that was like, you're not going to be a doctor? Like, how are you going to buy a house? How are you going to, buy a car, have a family?
How are you going to have a roof over your head and you're not a doctor?
Right.
Yeah.
He was less joking. Like he was pretty serious about that. But my dad is very much entrepreneurial. He came to the States when he was around like 19 to study engineering. And he actually,
of course he did. Iran has like engineers on an assembly line.
Yeah.
Right. Pumping them out, sending them to the United States.
Totally. And he actually got into the food distribution world, and he's had a food distribution business in Boston for decades. So he's an entrepreneur. He knows what it's like very well. He knows like starting with absolutely nothing and turning it into something. And he just wanted me to be happy, really, and choose a path. Honestly, he wanted me to choose a path that was kind of safe. He didn't really care what it was, but at the end of the day, I've chosen the less safe path of being an entrepreneur myself. And I think at first for him, I worked at a hospital upon graduating, and for him, that was like a dream, like a stable job at a hospital. So less about being a doctor. It was more about stability and having a career that, would pay well and, be reliable. But he's really proud of me, and he, again, is an entrepreneur himself. So he knows there's a lot of.
He got it. He understood that environment, and
totally.
He was probably super supportive, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the mentality behind the reasoning why Persian parents want their kids to be doctor, lawyer, engineer, because those are stable jobs that anywhere you go around the country or world, in fact, you could get a job.
It's needed.
Yeah.
He knew he knew the struggles of being an entrepreneur and the ups and downs that comes with that. So
right.
Yeah.
And for them, it's so much more just like the end goal, like what they want to see, and not so much the process. So they, they expect like when you're done with it all, that you're already like in your top ranking, making a lot of money, like not so much the process to get there.
There's a lot of pride amongst Persian people too, where they love telling each other what their, children are doing. And my dad's actually really not like that, but some of my family members really are. So I think like old school, traditionally, it's a pride thing. Even if you're not really doing well in your career, whether you're a lawyer, doctor, engineer, just the fact that you are one, like doesn't matter.
You could be the shittiest one, but if you hold that title, it's like gold.
Yeah, I think after I got my MBA, and I was like truly done with school after that, because mentally I was like, yeah, no more of this. This is even the MBA I thought was a waste of time. I still think it's a waste of time. But I got a call from one of my relatives saying, "What? So you got your master? Are you going to get PhD now and become doctor?"
Naturally, the next step.
Yep.
And I hung up.
Yeah.
Because no, I'm not.
Yeah.
My grandpa still to this day is like, before I die, I need to see you walk down aisle and they say, I'm a doctor, PhD. I'm like, no. He goes, I don't care at this point what the PhD is. Just get it. Do it before I die.
With Zoom, anything is possible.
Yeah, right. I
Just the
said,
internet.
I can't go through school anymore. He's like, that's it. You don't want to be doctor. You just want to be woman. Armagon with masters. I was like,
Sounds so familiar.
God.
It sounds so familiar.
It's always the grandpas.
Father. Yeah. Totally.
But I mean, over
I'm gonna
generations,
start calling
we're
you
changing
Master
the mentality.
Armagon. Yes.
When I got my master's, he was like, that's it? Armagon masters? I was like, yeah, what do you mean?
So Eliza, tell me, you said it's in your thing, it says in your bio, it says you're a New Balance, you are a New Balance sponsored athlete. Am I wording that correctly?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So how did that come about, and what is that exactly?
It came about because when I graduated from school, I basically would teach anywhere I possibly could to share like what Kickin was all about. And New Balance is based in Boston, and I would just go to every single event because I loved what they were doing. They were doing specific events around women. They called them, I think it was New Balance Girls Night Out, and they would do these really big fitness events in Boston. And I was just enamored by it because that's totally my jam. So I went to every single New Balance Girls Night Out event that I could go to. Just got connected to the right people by showing up and asking questions and just being curious, not like, annoying or cocky, just being really humble and really curious and figuring out how I could possibly fit into their bigger vision. And it took some time, but eventually I was a New Balance sponsored athlete. And it's kind of it's an interesting phrase because I'm actually not athletic. Like I am not good at sports. It's not my jam, which is surprising to people because I'm in fitness. But
it's not one and the same though. And that's important to know.
No, it's not one and the same. I didn't grow up playing sports. I grew up dancing, which is a sport, but not traditionally seen as a sport. But basically my work with them was bringing a New Balance into the group fitness world and really promoting the crap out of them, showing the group fitness world and my instructors in Boston and beyond that it's a cool brand and they're, great in the group fitness space, whether it's their sneakers or their sports bras. So I was basically like a really great mascot for them. And we did clothing collaborations and events together. And it really put me on the map in a sense, because it's really not until someone or something big is behind you sometimes that people see your value.
That's true.
Even though you see yourself. So it was very, very, very helpful for me in the beginning when I just moved to Boston, like fresh out of college, trying to share my program with people.
That's amazing. And are you still with New Balance now, or is that something of the past?
It's something in the past. And honestly, I adore the company, but it's for the better because I was exclusively with them. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't work with other brands.
Right. Yeah.
It was wonderful, but it was also limiting and a really good learning experience. So I adore New Balance, but I also love wearing my Nikes and wearing my Reebok and other brands. And
I'm going to make an assumption that you don't mix the two in the same outfit, right?
Oh, I've never thought about it.
That's a cardinal sin.
But when I was sponsored by them, I wouldn't be caught.
Well, no, being sponsored is different. You have to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying now,
you would get.
I mean, you can't wear Nike shoes with Adidas socks. Right. You just can't do that.
Right. Yeah. If there are too many logos going on, it gets weird.
Yeah. Like would you be interested if another brand approached you to sign, or are you just out of that?
I'm older and smarter at this point, so maybe I would structure it a little differently, but I would
negotiate better deals.
Yeah. I would love to work with another big brand. Actually, my cousins who are Persian and they are out in LA, they own a company called Vimeo. And we did like a collaboration with them. It's a clothing company. And that was really fun to work with family on something, which I was never able to do when I was with New Balance. So getting to do those kind of collaborations are fun. But yeah, I would love to work with another bigger brand again.
Awesome. Nike, Adidas, you hear that?
Yeah.
Hello.
Especially Nike. Nike.
Hello.
Nike.
Yeah.
Sponsor Eliza. Sponsored and backed by Monday Noosh.
And then we'll take any extras that you don't want to wear anymore.
Right.
The out of season
Scraps,
ones.
the samples, the trial and error ones.
They accidentally send you men's clothing. We'll take it. I mean, it's all good.
So you've been talking and mentioning the Kick It, but can you actually tell us about what the Kick It program is and the certification, how it came about, the mission and purpose behind it? Just deep dive into what Kick It is, essentially.
Kick It as a class is a kickboxing, boxing-inspired class that's to the beat of the music. It's a 13-round class, so a round is a song, so 13 songs in every class. It's about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. Definitely a focus on high-intensity interval training and cardio while moving to the beat of the music. But a couple of things to note about the actual class is that we really are inclusive of all levels. So even though it's a high cardio class, we really offer a ton of modifications because we want it to be an inclusive space for all. The other thing is that at the end of every class, we have a mindfulness component, because a lot of group fitness I found was about coming in, sweating, counting calories, sizing yourself up in the mirror. But people are forgetting that the biggest key to success to wellness or losing weight is having the right mindset. So like you can go to the gym and count your calories and sweat your ass off, but if you're not
really, what are you doing it for? Yeah,
if you're not working on your mental wellness and your emotional wellness, like for what then? It's short-term success. Like eventually you're going to fall off the bandwagon if you're not mentally sound and there like with your regimen.
Right.
So that's a really big piece. And sometimes it's too woo-woo for people. And I get that. Like people who show up to group fitness classes that are intense, they're usually not looking for a meditative cool down, but that's what we give them because you really need it, for all those reasons I'm excited about. So that's class. And then there are kind of two branches in the way we function. One way is our certification. So we've certified women from around the world to teach this class wherever they are. And I mentioned due to COVID, we went virtual 100%. So now we have an entire virtual program that our instructors can teach on. But now as things are opening back up, virtual is here to stay for sure. But we hope that our instructors also can get back out there in their
because virtual could gain way more clientele, right?
Yeah,
it totally changed the business for sure. So that
right.
branch is our virtual platform where we have several different variations of Kick It. So like Kick It Strength with weights or Kick It Core that's focused on your core. We have yoga, meditation. So there's a ton of variety in our virtual platform, and we teach live virtual classes so we can interact with people. And then we also have recorded classes because convenience is key. So if you can't take a live virtual class, you could just open your computer, pick what kind of class you want to take with us, and call it a day.
But when sorry.
Go ahead.
When it was in person, or when you plan to bring it back in person, how would it work? Like women all over the world would get certified to teach Kick It classes, and they would start their own studios or go teach it at certain gyms or studios, or how would that work?
That's exactly it. So some are studio owners, so they just like implement it into wherever their space. But a lot of women actually, this is just like their passion and their side hustle, something they do for fun. So they'll teach at big box gyms or boutique studios. Outdoor pop-up events are huge for our instructors. So especially in the Northeast right now where it's getting nice and warm, we have instructors teaching outside at breweries. It's like, that's like a huge thing, which I never would have thought, but smoothie shops, coffee places.
I'm going to make an assumption that it's before you start drinking the beer.
Yeah, we call it Kick It and Sip It. So you take class and then you grab your beer. So it's a fun like side passion project.
So Eliza, I want to ask you a little bit about your business model then. So you have these people that are certified, and now they're doing their own classes. Does anything at that point get kicked up back to you? Or you just certify them and they're kind of on their own at that point?
Great question. So logistically, everyone has to get certified or recertified every year. So your certification is good for a year, and then you have to re-up on your cert. You can either stay in level 1 or you can advance into our level 2 program. So that's a certification. And then we have a subscription model where instructors subscribe to music and choreography, and they can stay up to date on, what the latest is to teach their classes. On the virtual side of things, our virtual program is part for the instructor, is part learning and coaching them and part teaching. So these virtual instructors subscribe to get coached every single week with guest coaches from myself, industry leaders, or people in other industries, honestly. And then they also teach on the platform. So there are a couple of ways to be an instructor, but no matter what direction, there are some touch points and some barriers that they have to kind
So yeah, it's a rare instance where someone just gets certified and just kind of goes rogue. And I guess my question is, how do you stop from somebody, essentially stealing or copying your thing
and rebranding it as their own?
Another good question. So there's no great answer to that other than they sign a contract when they're certified, acknowledging that it's intellectual property,
right?
And, they can't do that. At the end of the day, could someone do that? Sure.
And if you find out, you could probably stick a lawyer on them if you really wanted to.
Exactly. And also the biggest part of our program is the community, even the instructors. Like the instructor community is such a big part of the program that, yes, not legally, they could put their name on it and do their thing, but they don't have the systems, they don't have the community,
just all the resources that you guys might have at hand.
The years that that's been built on this,
right.
What
year exactly did you officially start this program?
Well, I started when I was a freshman in college. I started teaching Kickin in 2009, which is crazy, but just for fun.
Right.
I didn't take it full time until 2016. Yeah,
oh, wow.
About 2016.
So was that when you started your certification process for other people, or?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, I was working at Brigham Women's Hospital in Boston when I graduated, and again, I was just teaching for fun.
Right.
But then really dove in full time in about 2016.
You saw the potential.
Yeah, it was when New Balance actually sponsored me. I said, I'll go.
Okay. Yeah, they did touch on that. Absolutely.
How would you spread the word when you started in 2009? Because like right now, social media is a huge platform, and now that everything's virtual, I'm sure it helps you a lot. But back then, like I'm sure it was Facebook, right? So would you just what was your first few classes?
I think it was. Hold on, correct me if I'm wrong. 2009 was like Facebook was still almost peaking. Yeah. No, Facebook was popular, and it was like almost peaking. It was getting a little more intuitive. You had the mobile apps coming a little bit. MySpace was dead at that point. So go for it now.
Facebook was really the only forum. It was like Facebook groups were really great. So I had like a Facebook group, but I was on a college campus. So that's like one friend does something, you all go.
Everyone goes.
That was it.
Right.
Social media was so secondary. It was all word of mouth because I was on this huge college campus with my ideal client right there. And ideal client, that's what, for someone is now. But these students also weren't paying anything extra to go to the gym. It's a part of their tuition. So like for them, what do they have to lose? It's free.
Yeah.
So that really allowed for like the masses to take class. And I was on a huge campus, so many students. So that was really the primary driver, was word of mouth.
That's insane.
You're right. Because especially on a college campus, Facebook is king, especially in those first, I want to say 8 or 9 years of Facebook.
Prime years, yeah.
And like you're saying, it was free anyway, so might as well. Better than doing some mundane workout. Might as well just dance it out or whatever it is you called it at that point.
And I'm sure there you could experiment with the classes every single time, because it was fellow students, like people like you. It wasn't like your actual job at that point, so you could kind of get creative with
experiment, trial and error.
Experiment the classes.
Totally, I was just having a blast. That's all it was.
That's awesome.
So Eliza, where do you draw inspiration for when you create like a new routine for your certificates and classes? Like, how do you constantly keep it fresh and new and innovative for your peers?
The biggest way to draw inspiration, I find, is to continue to be a student in some way. So sometimes it's as simple as just taking instructors' classes and being inspired by them. Sometimes it's enrolling in, you know, mentorship programs or masterminds or things of that nature. Um, but I just find by being a student, it's so inspiring, so inspiring. Another thing is like reading a lot, reading from people who have been maybe in similar situations or paths. That's also really inspiring. And also just taking a break sometimes is the best inspiration, because I have found this past year that I'm so close to my business sometimes that it's hard to be inspired every day. I don't wake up every day and I'm like, I am so inspired. It takes sometimes like time.
Yeah. And I was kind of going to ask you about that. It's a kind of a different version of Art's question about how do you keep it fresh and inspiring. It's like, how do you wake up every day and like doing the same routine and because you can work on new routines and then implement them at some point, but in the meantime you're probably doing the same routine of classes for X amount of time. Like, how do you mentally get over that of just doing this over and over and over again?
Well, I've been doing this teaching for so long that I'm able to come up with new content like very quickly, if not on the spot. So if I'm feeling like I'm teaching the same stuff over and over again, I just switch it up as I want. But even sometimes that can get very boring for me. So again, it's like taking other classes. Maybe it's not Kick It, taking like different formats. Just being a student and being away from my business can be really helpful.
Yeah. In other words, like you're constantly humbling yourself
in
your craft and wanting to learn more and develop new techniques.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you ever take classes, like Kick It classes by other instructors to see what they're doing? Like, is that okay?
Yeah.
like undercover boss.
Kind of undercover boss. Yeah, exactly.
Or do they know you're there?
They know I'm there.
Oh, they're on it. They know you got to go disguised one time. Come on.
I actually 2 weekends ago, I surprised 2 virtual instructors who aren't that far from me. They're in Massachusetts. They were doing their first in-person brewery event, sold out, and I was like, I'm gonna drive down and just surprise them, and actually post it on Instagram. It's a reel on there, and they were shooketh. It was so funny. It was so funny. So I did do a little undercover boss.
Were they doing what they were supposed to, or did they deviate
Most importantly?
Oh, they were great. They were awesome. It was more so just to show them my support.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's awesome.
That's nice. And it wasn't a gotcha roll up. It was, I'm just here I got your back.
Just a support. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Are you involved in like the day-to-day, like the classes, the music, like everything? Do you involve yourself in every aspect, or do you kind of have somebody with you on the side, like kind of like a co-manager or something?
I am in the day-to-day and also have I guess her title is support coach, but she's really in the trenches with me. And something that's actually really hard as an entrepreneur is like I'm saying, like moving out of being in it so much or so close to it. So I'm always trying to ride that line of working in the business and working on the business. So it's always a delicate balance, but I have a really great team, and specifically her name's Leslie, a great support coach to handle stuff that I shouldn't be doing anymore, so I can focus on
right. Awesome. And so you said that with this pandemic you've moved everything virtual. Do you plan on just staying virtual, or maybe creating establishments and brick and mortar stores in different cities or states?
I've found that virtual is very likely here to stay with a super strong presence. And I apologize, there's a lawnmower shaking.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's just the new normal of wellness and fitness, and it has created such ease for my schedule and for my business. So it's here to stay for sure. What we would do in the past are pop-up studios, and our last pop-up studio was in the Seaport in Boston for about 3 years. It was awesome. We might do a concept like that again, but I've actually never ever been glued to brick and mortar. That was never my jam. We would do pop-up studios and that was it. There was never a solid brick and mortar Kickin studio.
Right.
So, you know, the pandemic was not terribly hard for us because that was never what we relied on. So virtual with the accessory of maybe pop-up studios and definitely outdoor events and stuff like that.
Yeah, here and there. I mean, less overhead for you, so it works out.
Totally.
We could take it anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
It works. So I see the word, I want to say this right, Fempire. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Like all over your Instagram and your website and everything. So how did you actually come up with Fempire? What does it mean? And how did you come up with it?
The word is really just encompassing of our community, which is filled with strong females from all different walks of life, different abilities, different levels. And it's really felt like this like empire of women who have helped me build this. And again, we are so based on inclusivity. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter, you know, your abilities. You can be a part of this community, and people find a lot of, you know, empowerment through that mentality and have been able to create great connections and obviously get a great workout in, but it's so much more than that. So that's kind of like what the word is about. What it is not is it's not anti-men. So commonly we'll get, you know, comments like, what about the Fempire? And like, well,
I personally was offended. You're about to get canceled.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, well, this whole world is based on like men and
Fempire.
yeah.
We've been empire for hundreds of years.
Yeah, exactly.
We have Women's Day. When's Men's Day? Like every day is Men's Day. You guys get it all the time.
Totally. But we love.
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself.
We love when men come to classes. You know, group fitness in general is 90% women.
Right.
So it's not like an odd thing to have Fempire part of our branding. But the workout is not feminine. It's not a dancey workout. You know, we're not shimmying during the class. We're shadow boxing and we're doing hit style stuff.
And I do a little shoulder, like, you know.
You can add that in. But it is funny when men take the class because I get it. The branding is feminine, but the class, it's a workout, you know?
Hold on, I want to ask you about
at the
this.
end of the day,
Have you
you're
ever
breaking
had to kick out a creepy guy?
There was one outdoor class where it was just kind of odd, but I feel like people know the etiquette around group fitness at this point, you know? Like, you can't really go in and be creepy anywhere anymore given our climate and culture. But there was one instance where it was like, you're kind of, I don't like the way you're looking at my girls. You know, like.
Yeah. Like standing in the back, kind of.
Yeah, like, I don't
just
think
like
it's a workout. But it's really hard to get away with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's so obvious.
That's
You know what I'm paranoid with is like it's like I'm somewhere and like I don't want to look creepy, and by not looking creepy, I accidentally am creepy.
Creepy.
So
Yeah.
And
By
it's like
overthinking
your
it.
mind.
You try too hard.
So like if I'm ever in one of those fitness classes, I just want to be at the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I'm not staring at anybody. I'm just at the front. Just want to work out. Like
I'm not looking at you.
You're looking at
That's
me,
it.
actually. I feel.
But that's a good point. Every group fitness class I've been to has all been women, except for cycling classes. Cycling classes is like a mix of them.
That has a good
But
mix.
even then, Arash, I noticed the guys never sit in the back because you can pick your bike. They're always front row. I don't know if that's competitive, their competitive aspect, or because they don't want to look creepy by looking at all the women.
I mean, listen, you don't want to be. Listen, even okay, if you are innocent. And you just never want to be accused, especially if you're innocent.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like that.
So why put yourself in a situation where you may accidentally someone's just having a bad day and thinks you're looking at them, but you're just freaking daydreaming. Okay.
Could be.
Right? Am I wrong? Like, come on, who daydreams and then like a minute later you realize that you're staring at somebody the whole
Oh
time.
yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
didn't even register you were
Terrible.
staring at them. You get what I'm saying? So
If you have the mental capacity to daydream during a cycling class, God bless you, because I'd be huffing and puffing.
Actually, cycling class, every time I go into, you know how people say they have the most thoughts in the shower? You think about like everything. That's how I feel about cycling. I literally get on the bike and I'm in La La Land, like thinking about this. I didn't do that. I didn't do this. I need to do.
Did I leave my oven on?
Yeah, literally. Did I leave my hair curler?
Armagon has multiple tabs open at all times.
Yes, always. So,
that type of anxiety.
That's the type of anxiety I have on the bike. Anyway, moving on. What's one crucial piece of advice that you would give to women or men, but mostly women, because that's what your brand is based around, that want to kickstart their health journey, or maybe they're nervous or too scared or need some sort of motivation? Like, what's the first thing you would tell them?
I would tell someone kickstarting their health journey 2 things. 1, find something that you actually love, because that is really important to be successful. Whether it's cycling or boxing or kickboxing or Pilates or yoga, whatever kind of program, find something that you really enjoy and make attainable goals. So don't go into something saying that you're going to lose 100 pounds, don't even, like, if it's up to me and my kick it mindset, don't even make it about your weight. Make it about like how this woo-woo for some people, but make it about how you feel. Do you feel good after the class? Great. Make it a point to go to that class 4 times a week. Like the thing with Kick It is that,
but also not eat a cheeseburger afterwards.
That nutrition is a big thing too. The physical things that happen, that's such like a byproduct of Kick It. It's like, just enjoy yourself, have fun, be around good people, get your mind right, and the weight will come off. And then nutrition is such a big part of weight too. Yeah. I don't claim to be an expert in that, but I can say that for movement, just love it and make, realistic goals.
I think so many people like approach health and wellness, everything as like a short-term thing. Like, okay, I'm just going to do this for X amount of months and I'm going to look like this and perfect. I'm going to take some pictures. But like, really, it's like a whole lifestyle change. You really have to like break out of your mold, your shell, and just become this new person that you do things that are better for you, and just make life more sustainable and easier as you keep going. But yeah, I don't think people just approach it as like a very cut and paste, like I'll do this and this and I'll end up looking like that. But yeah, like you said, it's like a lifestyle change, and you got to eat and think things that are beneficial to you and your health.
Definitely.
So Eliza, now the easy part of the programming is over.
Or hard, I don't know.
No, this was the easy part. Now it's the difficult part.
God, we're gonna scare her.
Now we're gonna get to the rapid fire questions.
Oh God, I'm terrible. I'm so bad at rapid fire to begin with.
Oh, so this is
gonna be while you're working out. Would that be better?
I don't know what the next layer to this is, but just like baseline, I'm really bad at rapid fire.
Okay, we don't time you, but we expect timely answers.
Yeah, we don't actually go like bam, bam, bam. They're just shorter questions.
Okay, all right,
okay. Get situated. Get ready.
Take a sip. Take a sip of yourself.
Dun dun dun.
All right, here we go.
What is your favorite workout to do other than Kick It?
I like to walk.
You like to walk?
I like to take my dog for long walks. That's true.
Okay. What's your favorite self-care activity?
Taking baths. 100%.
Favorite.
I think baths are so underrated, by the way.
I think they are.
Yeah, not too.
I would love a nice bath, but fortunately don't have that. Favorite place you've traveled to?
Ooh. I studied abroad in Cape Town, South Africa, and that was like the most magical, memorable experience ever.
Damn.
Wow.
I want
It was
to.
It's an
amazing.
interesting one.
Who is your role model or inspiration?
I have many, but one would be my dad, who I spoke about. He just really has an incredible story and doesn't take anything for granted because he really came from nothing.
Mhm.
Oh, that's so
That's
cute.
amazing. Oh.
What's one piece of advice that you would give your 18-year-old self?
Don't be so anxious about the future.
I think a lot of people need to hear that. I think I needed to hear that.
Say it again.
Say it one more time.
Remix.
Don't be so anxious about the future.
Yes.
This girl gets anxious about what to eat for lunch.
Same. Honestly, same.
Who is one person that you would like to have lunch with, dead or alive?
Wow, I'm so bad.
That one usually trumps people.
This is so hard. Oprah?
Wow, that's her second
Oh.
Oprah.
I feel like I honestly feel like that's a go-to for so many people. I was trying to think like in more, off the beaten path, but we'll go with that for the sake of time.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's
Oprah works.
I think a lot of
We'll
that's a
allow
good
it.
one. Yeah. Yeah, we'll allow. Favorite athletic wear brand other than New Balance?
I really like Reebok.
Reebok. Okay.
Nice.
Favorite time of the day to work out?
I enjoy early evening, like 5:00 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. You just gotta work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right after my work day.
Favorite genre of music?
Probably like hip hop and R&B.
Is that what you play in the classes? Like more hip hop inspired, or?
I don't like to just do what I like in my classes. Excuse me, but
You kind of read the room.
I read the room. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
We just did a listening
Oh.
class at 5, so that was my
Okay.
time to shine. But
Yeah, that's when you kicked it.
yeah,
Going on vacation, do you like to go somewhere surrounded by nature or more like metropolitan city-esque type?
nature.
Yeah, peace. Three things or one thing you can't leave the house without. You can't say phone, wallet, or keys.
I hate leaving the house without my dog.
Oh.
Sometimes I have to.
What kind of dog do you have?
He's a golden doodle.
Oh,
Oh.
so cute.
He's a precious angel. Such a
Yeah,
but you can't, you can't bring the dog everywhere. So
no, not everywhere. What's your go-to meal after a workout?
ooh. After workout, I usually crave some kind of like chicken or some sort of meat. That's usually what I crave.
Yeah,
But I
a
don't.
quick fix of protein.
Yeah, I like to cook a lot, so I cook different things. I don't have like a one thing in specific, but maybe a nice
Okay.
chicken.
Reasonable.
Can I ask a side question? If you like to cook, have you ever thought of like expanding Kick It and adding nutritional stuff to it? Recipes and like
Yeah,
whole
I
guide?
have it. The only drawback is that nutrition is such a sensitive thing for people because it's like stuff they're putting into their bodies. So if I were to do it, I'd have to bring on an expert to do it right.
Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense.
So I was reading an article, Eliza, about how you're hood at heart.
Oh my gosh. Did I say that?
You did, unless the reporter misrepresented what you said.
Oh my God. That's
Okay.
so not politically correct these days, but it is true.
Okay,
Must have been an old article.
I know what you meant by it. So I'm gonna test your hip hop knowledge, not your hip hop knowledge, but your hip hop taste a little bit, not your knowledge.
Okay.
D12 or G unit?
Wait, say that again.
D12
Oh,
or G unit?
G unit.
Yes. Yeah, I told her she was cool. Okay. All right. Jay-Z or Eminem?
Jay-Z.
Really? Okay. Kanye or Eminem?
Eminem.
There you go.
Okay.
I knew she was going to say that one.
50 Cent or Drake?
Drake. He just won Billboard
I don't care what he
Artist of the
won.
decade.
Artist of the Decade.
Biggie or Tupac?
Say it again.
Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie.
Biggie. Okay. And what is your favorite rapper of all time?
Oh. Wow, that's a really hard one.
Oh, wow. You stumped her.
I am stumped. Like Jay-Z is really up there because he's so classic and
Yeah.
iconic.
Right.
He's a master lyricist.
He's amazing.
Like you're stuck on an island and you got a playlist full of this artist. What do you bump?
That's a good way to put it.
It's probably Drake.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
I
he's
knew I
got a
liked
decade's
her.
worth of material.
I knew
Is he
I
really a
liked her.
rapper? Is he really a rapper?
Yes.
I love-
All right, stop hating. He just won Artist of the Decade.
I don't care what he won.
Stop
Is he
it.
really a rapper?
his acceptance speech was so sweet and humble.
With his little son next to him.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean the one that he didn't acknowledge for like the first 5 years of his life?
Yes,
That one?
the kid's not even 5. Arash, stop it right now.
You get what I'm trying to say.
3.
So we're not done with rapid fire. We got some food questions now. Okay. All right. You're familiar with the Iranian foods and the names of them and everything?
I feel like I might not know everything you're about to say, so hit me with it.
Is it okay if I say them like the Farsi, like?
Say it in Farsi, and if I need clarification, I'll ask.
Okay, with the stews. Okay, between the stews, ghorme sabzi. I assume you know that one.
Yes.
Or karafs, which is the celery stew.
Not the celery stew.
Yeah, not the celery one.
No.
Because you know
Definitely.
that's like a huge thing in the Iranian community. There's always a debate.
Yeah, there's a huge debate about that.
One or the
Yeah.
other.
It's a similar debate to pineapple pizza.
I no thank you for the Hawaiian pineapple pizza for me, at least.
Okay, so now we'll get to the kebabs.
Okay.
Do you like the kubi de kebabs, which is the mincemeat one, or the bag, which is like the more like the what is it, like a sirloin or not a sirloin, but
Like it is like
steak.
sirloin cuts. Yeah.
I'm into that one.
You're into
Yeah.
that one? Okay. Now the tadig, which the crispy rice at the bottom, right? So
everyone knows the taddy.
what's your favorite kind of tadig? There's the potato one, there's the plain one, the onion one, the spaghetti one.
Okay, so
The onion one.
Oh, you guys don't know about that one?
no.
You put it with bagali polo. Usually, you put onions at the
I've-
bottom, and you make.
I've had
Oh,
the
yeah.
lettuce one, but not
Oh,
onion.
what the hell's that?
The lettuce one.
Lettuce, yeah.
Who raised you?
So I love to have and make just the plain one, but
Mhm.
I do love the potato one. I've never made it myself, but tadig is hard. Like it's like
Yeah.
no, I don't know what the company is. I got an ad for it. They created like specific
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have it too. I have it.
I got the ad for it.
They're targeting all the Persians in
I bought it too.
No.
I bought it.
I think she's talking. Are you talking about the pan that you flip?
She's talking about the crispy rice cooker.
So you flip it and it's
Yes.
designed so it doesn't splatter on you.
Yes.
Mm.
It's this. I think the owner of that company might be Iranian or
I-
somebody
More than likely.
collaboration.
You think?
No, because they sell pots and pans. It's not just that one. It's a whole
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
pots and pans and all that
Actually,
stuff.
so smart because the scariest part of making tadig is the
Flip.
That flip
Yeah.
process.
Okay, so
You don't
so
know where it's gonna
what's
land.
worse when you go somewhere to somebody's house and you expect tadig, and what's worse, no tadig or bad tadig?
Oh, I'll take bad tadig. I mean, I'd rather that than none of it.
Yeah.
Fair
I like
enough.
at least you put the effort in, and it just
Yeah, like slightly crispy. Okay, fine. Like it's not the best, but at least it's here.
Okay. Burger or wings?
Wings.
yes.
What kind of sauce?
Well, are we talking like American cuisine now?
Yeah. I switched it up on you.
Because my dad makes really good wings. I don't think they're necessarily like done Persian style, but I don't know.
Well, you go to
think Persians really eat wings.
sauces. What sauce do you get?
Well, I really love like a buffalo chicken wing with like
Just the OG.
blue cheese dressing. I love that. But my
Oh,
dad
perfect.
makes
Yeah.
good, like, on the grill wings with just like
Grilled wings are nice.
garlic and lemon, like a little bit of that. So I could go plain or I could go buffalo.
This
Classic.
way, that way.
Classic
Okay.
flavors.
As long as it tastes good.
Yeah.
And then what is your ultimate favorite Persian food?
Oh, toddy. Duh.
Oh wow.
Okay. What about out of the stews? Just the stews.
Okay, so the stew that I love, we simply call it red. That's literally what we call it. We call it red. And it's lamb and green beans and potato and onion with a red base to it.
Oh my gosh. My great uncle used to make that when we would go to Iran. And
What's it called?
He calls it khorosh shalubia, which means like the stew of green beans. Because he puts green beans, lamb chunks, potato, red base, and carrots. It's like a
I feel like I've had the same, yeah.
It's a weekly staple in our house because my dad's like great uncle started making it years and years ago in Iran, and so we all adopted it. That's funny because I've never heard of any other Persian that eats that specific stew.
So my like when we have, I'm Jewish as well, which is also like talk about a minority and a minority. But for Shabbat dinners, my aunt will always make what we call red, and it's just become like my absolute favorite.
That's so cool. Does your dad know how to cook? Because your mom's American. So would your dad cook Iranian stuff growing up, or did your mom ever learn it? Or
my mom cooks a lot of Iranian stuff.
Wow.
She actually they lived in Iran for a while. They got married there.
And so she definitely picked it up.
Yeah. And then when things were like pretty bad in Iran, like when the Shah fell and all that, they moved to the States, which I don't know if they would have done actually if things were good there. So she's very much ingrained in like the cuisine and the culture and all that.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to ask you one last question.
Okay.
And the two of them are going to cringe because they know what question is coming.
At this point, I'm okay.
It's expected.
So far this season we've gotten mixed reviews on this question.
It's true.
Yeah, that's why I'm okay with it.
It's a huge debate. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I would not classify that as a sandwich.
What would you classify it as?
I would classify that as like
a hot dog.
Its own category.
Its own category of like grilled foods.
Oh, we've never got that answer.
Like
so you're at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you have a section that says on the grill. You're seeing the steaks, you're seeing like the grilled chicken, you're seeing like grilled fish. Are you gonna see the hot dog on the grilled foods?
You might.
Come on.
I'd be a little puzzled, but intrigued on why there's a hot dog in there.
Well,
like is the hot dog like filleted and nicely like seasoned and
you make hot dogs on the grill? She's right.
Okay, but aren't the hot dogs usually in the sandwich section of menus?
Is it? I really don't know.
Because you have your cheesburger, you have
Honestly,
maybe like a club
I always
sandwich
see it separate. I feel like.
I think so too. I
feel like it's never on the sandwich part. I don't know. I don't think it's a sandwich. I think it's
next time you go to a restaurant with hot dogs, report back and let us know.
If there's a restaurant with hot dogs, I would be concerned. Like a nice sit-down restaurant.
No, I was gonna say. Oh, stop.
If I went to like a nice upscale and had hot dog,
they had a hot dog. That's the first.
Obviously, this is going to be like bar food.
Well, I went to a tapas restaurant last weekend and really great food, and there were hot dogs, like done up hot dogs on the tapas menu, and really good. But I can't remember.
Like you guys have never had Colombian and Venezuelan hot dogs, apparently.
No.
I
actually just tried Venezuelan hot dogs in New York last week. It was, but it didn't. It was completely loaded.
Yeah, it's
It has fries on it. It has like
It had like those crispy potato
cheese. It
chips,
has
cabbage,
bacon and
ketchup.
chicken strips and
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, it goes
I
hard.
haven't ate and I'm starving.
Again, thank you so much for coming on the pod with us. We appreciate your time. To all of our followers who want to follow Eliza and maybe get on one of her classes or maybe even get certified or go to her merch store, you could find her on Instagram at Kick It by Eliza. So you can find her there, and she has all little workout videos. She has the link to her sites, kind of what she's all about, and we encourage everybody to take the time and go on there, and everybody just do some type of activity because we've been lacking activity for
some time now. Yeah,
get back at it,
and it's something interesting, new, and fun and exciting. So worth definitely checking it out.
Thank
all right,
you,
Eliza. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you.
You.
Thank you so much. We had a pleasure speaking to you.